Joining us now for the latest from Lviv is our Moscow reporter, Patrick Revel. Patrick, what's the situation in the capital city right now?
Hi, Kara. Yeah, as you were saying, you were mentioning that today Ukrainian officials are claiming to have liberated this key town just north of Kyiv. It's called Irpin, and it's right on the edge of the city. It's on right on the edge of the city limit.
I just realized
and for the last 3 weeks, basically, Russian troops have basically been dug in there, fighting very, very heavy fights with Ukrainian forces. And all day we've been hearing the sound of intense fighting coming down from the north, which is just up in that direction there. And today they're claiming they finally have managed to dislodge the Russians from there, but that doesn't mean that they've managed to actually push the Russians that far back from the capital yet. And we know that there is still very intense artillery fire every day, daily onto the towns around the edge of Kiev. But at the same time, it is part of this broader push with counterattacks that Ukrainian forces are making at the moment, both here around the capital and also in the north and in the east.
And so, Patrick, Putin may be shifting his strategy, we're told, to split Ukraine like North and South Korea. As we talk about in-person negotiations happening today between Ukraine and Russia, what do we know about Putin's new plan?
So you might remember last week, Russia's military announced that it was going to begin focusing on what it called the liberation of the Donbass region in eastern Ukraine. And that essentially was saying it was no longer going to focus on trying and capture major cities outside of it. What we've heard over the weekend from a senior Ukrainian official is that basically they believe it's possible the Kremlin right now wants to essentially split Ukraine in two. And he called it the Korean scenario, which would be where you have, basically the west of Ukraine and you have the east of Ukraine, just as you have North and South Korea. And there are the possibilities are that either they want to do that because they want to be able to have leverage for any negotiations internationally, or it's because they hope they can make ultimately it unworkable for Ukraine to continue as a country. I think the real challenge, though, for the Russians right now is that it doesn't seem that the Ukrainians are going to be willing to accept having the country split down the middle and to try and have a messy peace deal like that. What they're saying is if there's ever going to be a peace deal, the Russians are going to have to withdraw entirely to where they were before the invasion.
So these peace talks between Russia and Ukraine haven't seemed to move the needle at all right now. Now that it's supposed to be in person, could we actually see a push here, see some sort of difference or something come out of these talks?
It's interesting because, as you say, they're about to meet in person. Those are due to take place in Turkey tomorrow. And it's the first time in about 2 weeks that the two sides are meeting in person. And the fact that they are is obviously seen as a positive sign, that they must think that they have something to discuss and that maybe some progress can be made. But then on the other hand, when you look at it, they just seem so far apart because on the one hand, you do have President Zelenskyy saying he's willing to compromise on NATO membership and neutral status, but he's saying he wants security guarantees from Western countries, which is one very difficult issue. But the most difficult issue that I see here right now is that the Ukrainians are saying they want a full withdrawal of Russian troops back to where they were before the invasion began. And that doesn't seem to be what Russia has any intention of doing right now. There's no sign that they have any intention of giving up the territory they're trying to take. And right now they're trying to take Mariupol, this key city in the east, and they seem intent on keeping hold of it. So it's very hard to see how they can possibly bridge that gap.
There in Kyiv, Ukraine for us, ABC News Moscow reporter Patrick Revel. Patrick, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.